All right, so Street Certified 2, that was your second project, right?
Yeah, Street Certified 2
All
was
right,
my second project. Yeah.
so features on there, you got 3D, StreetLord Juan,
Yeah.
Tone, G Rock, Most Wanted, some of the same names from Street Certified 1 and
Yeah.
a few more. It was also hosted by DJ BJ. What would you say something you learned from part 1 that you applied and took to part 2?
Just to go harder, make better records and shit, and really just take my time far as making timeless music. You know what I'm saying? Something that people gonna like later on down the line. You feel me?
Making records.
Yeah, making records. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's crazy. I met Juan through Floss. You know what I'm saying? I remember at the time, and I was so happy. He had so far grown up. I was so motherfucking happy, dog. I got that motherfucking verse from Juan, dog. We said when I first met that nigga, we sat down to talk for like 2 or 3 hours before he even got in the booth and did the verse. And that nigga went in that bitch. And when I tell you he didn't write nothing down, he didn't do nothing. He sat there and listened to that motherfucker. He never had the beat. When I went there, he listened to the motherfucker when I got there. After we talked for 3 hours, he sat there and listened to that beat. I swear to God, for like maybe 20 minutes, dog. 20 minutes, and that nigga went straight in that motherfucking studio and freestyled that whole motherfucking verse.
Yeah, Juan, a legend, man.
No,
Had something
super
like
legend.
that early on in your career.
A super
That
legend.
was some kind of like a stamp or something, would
No,
you say?
facts, yeah, hell yeah. Niggas sing Juan on that bitch, and niggas know Juan ain't just doing those songs with niggas. Even now,
Right.
he ain't even on that type of time.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and Tone, somebody who done had success on the street level in the industry and still dropping songs that get people excited today. How did that happen?
Tone. I used to see Tone in the club. He used to be around the club performing with us because around this time it was me, Tone, Big Shine, Big Shan, who else? Pistol Atkins. It was a lot of people around there. So I was like just amongst all my peers, you know what I'm saying? And Tone really was the one like at that time up here, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, like everybody respected the nigga. So it was just like a call, nigga, like, what's up, nigga? I need you on this, whoopty whoop. And Tone was with it. You know what I'm saying? He ain't had no issue. I think that album he did 2 beats for me. Yeah, I think he did 2 beats for me and 2 verses on that.
So he was producing
He
too
was
back
producing,
then?
yeah. Hell yeah. Toto was
Wow.
producing. He was cutting up. A lot of that shit he was producing for himself outside the shit Jazzy Faye was doing. That nigga Toto cold with that shit, with that producer shit.
Yeah, I remember him kind of telling this story about like how he really was getting it going back like in the '90s for real, before like Eminem came.
Yeah, no, for real.
So I was like, man, I ain't know that, but that's dope.
And shout out to Toto too, man, because that's one nigga that ain't never fucking stopped with that shit, dog. That nigga kept that shit going. That nigga had a lot of deals, man, a lot of big records, and that nigga ain't never stopped with that shit, man. Shout out to Toto.
Yeah, shout out to Tom.